Well, apparently it's a rainy day today. The amazing thing is that it's 20 degrees warmer than it was last time I went out, but it's still in the 30s. So today we're gonna go look at one of the first parts of the subway system. It was part of the original IRT line, but it's the extension that they pushed up through Harlem, the Lenox Ave Line. So very early in the system, it should have a lot of that beautiful IRT ornate goodness. If you're just finding this channel, I pick out places in New York City to go explore, and I take you with me. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's head over to the west side and start our journey up into Harlem. Let's go. Off the bus, West 96th and Broadway. This is where we're starting. I tell you, the freezing rain is not as much fun as snow. Seems to be a fairly modern station house. So we're back in an original part of the original subway, and it is gorgeous. Immediately step down into the station and you're surrounded by that beautiful IRT ornamentation. So again, this is part of that original IRT line. We rode the first part of that line. Check out that episode if you haven't seen it. This opened only a month after that in November 1904. Construction of all this started in 1900, and this extended off of the original line here at 96th Street, and it cuts across Central Park, and then we're going to keep going up into Harlem. Originally it went to 145th Street, but now it goes up to 148th Street. So we'll see all those. So this line was intended to bring rapid transit up into Harlem. It was also meant to give the IRT access to yards that they were building up there. And then it enabled future extensions into the Bronx. So this line is unusually deep. It's beneath the water table in Harlem, which has led to all sorts of problems with water infiltration. There's been a lot of track bed deterioration and lots of drainage failures. Because of all that, there was a massive reconstruction that took place in 1988 and 89. So this station in 96 is part of that original line. And this serves as the point where the line splits off and this Lenox Avenue line goes up into Harlem, and the rest of the line goes up through the rest of Manhattan. Because of that junction there, this is one of the first main transfer points in the IRT system. Like with the rest of the original subway, they built the platform shorter at first and ended up having to expand them. And it's pretty clear, again, with this station where the expansion was, because you have a newer looking section and then the original older looking section. Again, you can see the original section with the original pillars and then the extension with different pillars. And then on the walls, you can see the shift from the ornate tile of the original part to the new tile of the extensions. And then we got the narrower platforms of the old IRT stations. Now we're at 110th Street. So we just cut across the northwest corner of Central Park, and now we're in the top middle of Central Park, essentially right at the upper end of it. So this station, along with most of the other stations we're going to look at today, opened in November 1904, only a month after the rest of that main line did. The design of the station, along with a lot of the other early subway stations on this line, is by Hines and Lafarge. So it looks like we're down at the original end of the station because you've got the decorative pillars and some nice mosaics. Now we're up here at the bottom edge of Harlem. So this became a really important neighborhood station as the population in Harlem grew, particularly during the Great Migration. Around 1910, they extended the platforms to fit the longer trains in. And then there was additional work in the 20s and 30s to strengthen the structure and improve the lighting. So outside here, Central Park's right across the street. This is 110th Street. This is a nice classic entrance. I'm really cold today. I had 2 different jackets in my hand. My thought was, I don't want to be hot, but I picked the wrong one. Oh well. Now we're at 116th Street. This opened with the rest of these stations in November 1904. This very quickly became an important local stop, and they extended the platforms not too long after they built it, between the 1910s and 1930s. When they extended the platforms, often the styles changed, and because of that, with a lot of these stations, you got this dual era appearance to them. You can even see a shift right here. You got those tiles compared to that terracotta, and here's the break between the two. Right now we're at 125th Street. This also opened in November 1904. Built using the cut and cover method. The station was created to serve 125th Street, which was a main east-west artery up here into Manhattan already. Shortly after the opening, this station became one of the busiest stations in northern Manhattan because of Harlem's rapid growth. This ended up serving as one of Harlem's principal stops, linking the residents here to Midtown and downtown and the Bronx and lower Manhattan. So like I said, there was a major reconstruction during 1998 and 1999. This was one of the largest and most comprehensive tunnel reconstructions in New York City subway's history. At 125th Street, the tunnel floor was completely rebuilt. There was new drainage and waterproofing systems installed. They replaced damaged tile and concrete. There was repainting and structural steel restoration, and tracks and signals and the third rail were all replaced. The work stabilized the station for modern service, although some of the original features couldn't be salvaged. This station is a prime example of early subway design layered with a century of modifications. Again, you can see the transition between old and new. There's a vent here that goes into this signal room, and on the wall in there you can see the original terracotta border still in there. And you've got this seam here, so that wall must have been added, and that was all original back in there. Subway archaeology. Now we're at the 135th Street station. So a lot of the same things apply with this station. The platforms were extended pretty early on. We've had a lot of change over the last century, but there are aspects of it that are original and aspects of it that are newer. Beautiful mosaics. The next station is 145th Street, and you have to be on the first 5 cars to be able to get out there. So that should be interesting. So here at 135th Street, this is the last stop on the 2 before it breaks off and goes over to the Bronx. The 3 is the only one that goes up to these last 2 stops in Harlem. Now we're at 145th Street. And like I said, only the first 5 cars open here. This is a short station. What's interesting is this is what they all used to be like in the beginning. So this was the original terminus of this line. So when this opened, many of the early local trains terminated here before storage or layup. A short distance north of here lay the original Lenox Yard and car barn, which was the main storage and maintenance facility of the IRT trains at the time. So this station, like some of the others, preserves some of the original features by Hines and Lafarge, but also has a lot of updates because of years of modification. The next stop is the last stop. Apparently trains sit here for a while, usually waiting for places to go up at 148. There are only exits on this uptown platform because there's only one more stop, so you can't actually get on here, you can only get off. There are entrances on the other side, on the downtown side. I mean, I guess you could get on here right now because someone left the gate open, but normally. Friendly reminder to the conductor. So the next stop is the last stop now, 148th Street. It's the new terminus of the line. Last stop is 148th Street. Very different. This terminal actually opened in 1948, which is one of the reasons it's so different. Geez, we're outside again. I'm cold. So 145th Street had been the terminal station, but with growing ridership and increased demand, it didn't have sufficient trail tracks. Extending the tracks northward gave the IRT the ability to create proper crew layover areas and improve turnback operations for the 3 line. This is one of the few IRT stations that's built above ground. The Lenox Yard is right adjacent to this, and as soon as this train moves, you should be able to see it. It's so cold now. So this platform is a single island. Like I said, we're at grade here, above ground. And this location gave a direct link to the Lenox Yard, which is right over there. In 1995, the station was closed and renovated, and then it was reopened in 1998. And this is still the northern terminus of the 3 line. All right, I gotta figure out how to get home now. I'm cold. Nice and rainy now. I'll tell you, I like the winter and I like cold weather, but only when you're dressed appropriately, and I was not today. It's better now, but up at the 148th Street Terminal, man, it was cold. Anyway, I'm back up to the east side after a nice exploration of another part of the original IRT subway line. It was pretty cool to see some more of that old ornate stuff again. If you're just finding this channel, be sure to check out all the rest of the episodes already available up to the east side on YouTube. Like and subscribe, tell all your friends about it, and look for new episodes every Friday. I'm getting really wet now. Thanks for coming with me to explore New York City, even in the rain. I'll see you next time.